This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good morning. So let's get started. So yesterday we talked about virtual machines or EC2 instances, Elastic Compute Cloud. And today we'll see how to create those instances. aws.amazon.com, sign into your console. And go to services and you see EC2, click on EC2. So this is your EC2 dashboard. So I'm in North Virginia right now. This is my region. You can choose any region that you wanted. So generally, on what basis we choose the region, wherever your customers are heavily populated. Okay, if your customers are in US, it's better to choose a region which is the US region close to your customers. Or if you're doing business all over the world, maybe again you will know where your customers are more, right? So or if you have customers in one location, and for example in India, so choose a region in India region. Okay, so but for us it doesn't matter because I'm not going to run any production workloads. All that I'm doing is for testing purpose and lab purpose. So I can be in any region but stick to one region. So if you're using North Virginia, just stick to that. Okay, why? Because because if you switch from one region to another region frequently, sometimes you may have created some services or resources in that. You might have forgotten to delete it. So if you forget to delete it, there may be charges depending on what you launched. There may be some charges, and your credit card is already with them, so they're going to charge you bill you end of the month. So just stick to one region. So if I'm in North Virginia, okay, there are 6 availability zones. US East 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. Okay, these are the different regions that I have, different availability zones. Okay, so let me start creating a virtual machine. So launch instance, and these are different type of images that are there. So if you select free tier on the left hand side, so you will see this is Linux 2, Linux AMI, Enterprise AI, SUSE, Ubuntu, Microsoft, all different versions of Linux, different images that you have. AMI, if you look at this carefully, AMI is a template that contains the required software configuration such as operating system, application server, and application. And that is required to launch your instance. Just give me 1 second. And select this Linux, whichever it is, Linux AMI, select that. So here, general purpose, I told you yesterday, right? So general purpose, compute optimized, GPU, memory optimized. These are different type of instances that are available. In that, each of that there is a model, T2, M3, M4, nano, micro, small, medium, and so on. Okay, these are different models, different sizes. Like we have the sizes for our shirts, XL, large, small, medium, and so on, right? So similarly, you have these sizes. For example, only T2.micro is free, nothing else. Anything other than T2.micro is chargeable. Okay, anything other than T2.micro is chargeable. Make sure you see this, whichever service it is, make sure you see this thing, free tier eligible thing. So only free tier eligible servers are free to use next 12 months with some limitations. As you can see, this micro instances are eligible for free tier. First 12 months following your sign update, you get up to 750 instances, 750 hours of each instance per month. So this is 1 GB, 1 CPU. Okay, Kamal, you there? I think Kamal got disconnected. So let's wait for 2-3 minutes. Let him come back.
Praveen, his network hasn't disconnected, it seems he asked us to start.
Is going to connect back.
He tried, but the network is not good, it seems. He asked
Okay.
us to continue, he'll join if he can.
Okay. Okay. Fine. If you select the 128 CPUs, the bigger ones, you will be charged. Those are not free. Only this one is free. Next, how many instances you want? Okay, that you specify here. One instance. Rest you don't specify. I mean, we don't deal with this for now. We'll look at these options a little later. But number of instances, one. Storage. This is a Linux machine. The default it gets to 8 GB. If you want to change this to 80 GB, you can also do that. Okay, so you can also do that.
What is the maximum limit of storage you can use in free version?
16 terabytes.
Okay.
So that would be 16,000. Okay, so I'm just giving 8 GB. Add a tag. So tag is nothing but just giving a name to your instance. Okay, tag is for easy management, easy identification of your machines. Just give me 1 second. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So you can add a tag here. Tag is like a, you know, just an identification. That's it. Name server or Unix server. Security group. So to connect to this Linux instance, port 22 has to be open. Okay, port 22. Without port 22, you will not be able to connect to this machine. So this is a security group which is going to allow you to open the port. Okay, so SSH is the port, and from where source is 0.0.0.0/0. So that means I can access it from anywhere I can access this. So review and launch. So if you see this t2.micro, this is the SSH TCP port 22, and number of instances 1 instance, storage 8 GB, tag. So you can review all the things that you have configured and click on launch. And to connect to this machine, okay, one way, generally how do you connect with the username and password, right? But here in Amazon, so you connect with public and private keys. Okay, public and private key. So public and private key. What is public and private key? So this is a key combination, key pair. So public key will be stored in Amazon and private key will be stored in our local machine. Together, we will be able to communicate to this instance securely. So if you do not have, if Amazon doesn't have public key, you will not be able to connect. Or if you lose your private key, you will not be able to connect. Public key anyway, it is there in the Amazon, but don't lose you the private key. If you lose your private key, you will not be able to connect your instance. There are other ways, workarounds. In case if you lose the private key, there are some workarounds are there. So I'll tell you later. But for now, just remember, don't lose. You know, it is like lock to your home. If you lose the key, right, you cannot get inside your home. But there are alternative ways to get inside your home. But just because we have alternative ways to our home, so we are not going to lose the key, right? That's a big headache. Every time you lose the key just because there are some alternative methods. No, that's not the practice that we are going to apply. So only in emergency situations you look for alternative options. So if it's first time that you are creating instance, select this create a new pair option, create new key pair. And what is the key? So I'm going to call this as AWS class 9:30 a.m. download. Save desktop, save, done. It is saved, and click on launch. Acknowledge launch instance. The instance is getting launched now. Now you can see the status here. So let it, it's in the pending state. It should come to running stage, and the status should show as 2x2 checks completed. So let's wait for that. It will take just 2-3 minutes. Oh, in a shall we continue or?
Yeah, we'll continue.
Okay, the status should change it to 2 by 2. So we'll wait for the status to complete as 2 by 2.
Hi Praveen.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, sorry, some network disconnect happened. It's now connected. I
Okay,
guess
okay.
Mani also have the same
Even
issue.
sorry. Yeah.
You continue the section. Mani told he will check out the recorded video.
Sure, sure. Yeah. And we are going to do many times we are going to install virtual machines or EC2 instances. So don't worry. So we will 100 times I think we are going to do it.
Status
Okay.
are come exactly by the
Sorry.
status are come to 2 by 2 checks.
Yeah, yeah. Status has come down to 2 by 2 checks. Yes. Now we need to connect to this machine. How do we connect to a Linux machine from Windows machine? This is my Linux server. I need to connect to a Linux server. I have Windows machine. So you need to use SSH client. Just SSH client download. Uh, you have putty. Have you ever used putty? Go to putty.org. Just download this. Is it a 32-bit or 64-bit? Depending on your requirement. So, or depending on the OS that you are having, choose 32 or 64. I have 64-bit, so click that. Download it and install it. So very straightforward installation. Just download, click on next, next, next. That's it. Now, let's assume that I have installed it already. Okay. So you see, so I'm not going to reinstall it again because I already have it. So this is my putty. There are two files that we are going to use: puttygen and putty. So this is puttygen. Okay. So I'll open puttygen. Click on load. So we downloaded a file. Okay, private key that we have downloaded. So AWS class 9:30 a.m. Just say okay and click on save private key. Yes. So AWS class 9:30 a.m.
What's the difference, Praveen, between putty and putty gen? Because we use putty usually, but
Yes, yes. Okay. So putty Jan, see the private key that we have downloaded, it is not understood by putty. Okay, it is not understood by putty. So we need to convert that into the format that putty can understand. So that is why we are going to load existing private key, the one we downloaded, and we are saving it as a the format that it can understand. If you are using putty, okay, this is if you are using putty. Suppose you are not using putty, or you have there is another SSH client is there, which is MOBA Xterm. This is also free SSH client, and download it free. Just download it. Okay, home edition or installable edition, whichever. download, install it. I have downloaded and installed it already. Open that program, Mobile Xterm. Search for it, Mobile Xterm. Just click that, it will open. Click on new session, or here there is a top start a new session. SSH. What is the remote host name? This is my remote host name. Okay, IP. Public IP. Make sure you select public IP. So every instance comes with public and private IP. Select public IP. Save. And click on advanced SSH settings. Use private key. Select this private key. Open AWS class 930. So the one which downloaded, we downloaded. Okay, AWS class 9:30 a.m. Open that. There is no conversion required here. So straight away you can get. The default user is EC2-user. This is the default user, EC2-user. So that's it. You've logged into a Linux machine. So is it clear how I connected? So let me show you one more time. Forget about putty. Okay, just leave that putty aside. Just download Mobile Xterm. Download this. Download this Mobile Xterm. Home edition. Install it. After installing Mobile Xterm, open this. Sorry. Mobile Xterm. Click on the session. This is the IP address. Okay, and you need to specify the. Sorry, you also need to specify the private key. Private key is AWS class 930. Remote host. That's it. You're connected. The username is EC2-user. Username is EC2-user. The next thing that we do is generally, if it's first time that you are connected, so we will run yum update. This is going to update existing packages. Okay, that is done. So this is, yeah, so sudo su means you become super user. Sudo su, which means you become super user so that you can run administrative commands. So you become root user. It's like login as administrator or login as root user. Now let's launch a Windows instance. Click on launch. This time I'm going to select Windows 2016 base. Select. I'm going to use g2.micro 11 and one instance I require. Add storage. For Windows, 30 GB is required. Next. If you want to add tags, that is optional. You want to add or not, it's up to you. Security group for Windows, RDP. RDP is the one we are going to use to connect 3389. 3389 is a port that we use to connect to RDP. So you need to open 3389, review and launch. So number of instances, this is a Windows instance, 30 GB drive, launch. This time we don't need to create a new key. Every time you don't need to create a key. One time is enough. One time you create the key, that is more than enough. And you can use the same key for hundreds and thousands of instances, no problem. Okay, I acknowledge, launch instance. And you can click on view instances. So I'm going to call this as Windows. So there is a button here, this edit button, you click that, you can type Linux. Okay, so this will take a couple of minutes, so we'll see that. So we'll wait for this to get created and then we will connect to that machine. Windows will take a little more time because it's almost like 20 GB that has to be installed. So Refresh. So Windows will take 4 to 5 minutes. Linux will take 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, it's done. Windows will take a little more time. Okay, now right click and connect, get password. Okay. Okay, the instance is created, but password is not generated. So password will, that will take some more time. Okay, let's look at some of the options here. So you can, if you want to stop the instance, right click and stop the instance. You want to reboot it, you can reboot. Terminate means it is going to delete the instance permanently. So there is no way to recover it once you terminate it. If you do not have backup, that's it, gone. All your data is gone. So be careful when you're terminating it, because whether you really need to terminate, or you need to stop it, or so careful, especially if you are working in production environment. So you have to think 10 times before you terminate it. Okay. So and every instance will have instance ID. You see this is the instance ID. It's a unique number that is generated automatically. Instance state is running right now, t2.micro. It is created in US East 1B, and this is the security group that was used. And if you click on view inbound rules, it is opening, it is only allowing port 22, and it was launched using Amazon AMI. Okay, that is Linux AMI, and the key pair that we have used. Okay, AWS class 930 AM, and this is a public IP. This is a public IP, and there will also a private IP address also you will get. Okay, private IP address will never get changed unless until you terminate your instance. But public address is a dynamic address. When you completely stop your virtual machine, right, the IP address is going to change. Stop and start it again, IP address is going to change. If you reboot it, it is a soft reboot. It is not going to bring down your server completely. So it's a soft reboot. Stop and start is like hard reboot. So for stop and start, the IP address will get changed, only public IP. And for reboot, public IP is not going to change. Private IP will never get changed. Okay. And then this is a Windows. So you have different instance IDs. In the platform, it shows as Windows for Windows. Let's try to connect to this machine. Okay, password is not generated yet. And the status is showing up 2 by 2 completed. So let me stop this machine. Let me make a note of this machine. So I'm connected to this machine already, right? So I'm inside this virtual machine. I'm going to make a note of this IP address. I'm going to reboot this machine. Right click, reboot. This should not change the IP addresses. Okay, we are going to see the connection is closed. So that means the reboot has been initiated. We'll see it. It will come up in just less than a minute. Okay, let's reconnect. My voice is breaking. I don't know, maybe your side, I guess, your network issues. Kamal is able to hear me. So I have a high speed connection. So usually, there are very less chances that there will be some issue from my end. Okay, because I take the classes very regularly. Uh, Even just before this class, I have taken 3 classes. Okay, so usually, there will be less chances that there will be some issue from my end. I'm not saying there won't be a problem at all from my side, but there will be, but chances are less. First, I would suggest check your side, and if you're still having some issues, then I will also check from my end. So Rekha, Kamal is able to hear me properly, so just check it from your side. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. So as you can see, server has been rebooted and we have got a login prompt here. Is that IP address changed? No, the IP address is not changed. The same IP because I've rebooted it. I'm going to stop it completely and then start again. So that is going to release the public IP and going to create another, assign another public IP. Okay, let's look at our Windows machine. Connect, get password. So click on get password. Choose what is our AWS class 9:30 a.m. a.m. Click on decrypt password. So this is going to give you a password, and this is your Windows password. You can download this remote desktop file, and this is the username administrator. I'm going to save it on my desktop. Open it. So Windows machine is ready. See this? This is my Windows machine. All right. So this is how you can launch a Windows machine and Linux machine. Just simple. Right click, connect, get the password, open the file, open this file, choose a file, open that file, AWS decrypt, your password is generated, and download it and connect to that machine. That's it, you are connected. This is a Linux machine and we stopped it, right? So I'm going to start it again. Yes, right click and start. All right. So you got a new IP address. You see this? It's a new public IP address. It was different from previous one. Any questions so far? Is all okay? So if I want to terminate this machine, so suppose the lab is over, exercise, all the exercises over, right click, instant state, terminate. This is going to terminate your EC2 instance. Let's do that. Let's terminate it. So it is going to shut down your virtual machine, and then it's going to terminate it. So there are different instance states available. Running, pending, stopping, stopped, okay, terminated, shutting down, or it's called shutting down, terminated. It's gone. Can I launch this machine again? Can I start it? You cannot. Because you see this? Everything is disabled. It's gone. The disks are gone. The virtual machine is gone. Although it is showing here, it will disappear within probably half an hour to 1 hour's time. Okay. So don't worry, this is gone. Even if it is showing it is this, the entries here, but yeah. So we will see the backup part later, but you can take backups. Okay, so when we come to backup sections, I'll tell you. But I'm just warning you in case you terminate it. Make sure you have a backup in case if it is a critical server. Okay, otherwise you will not able to record the data. Now, so this machine. So we have created 8 GB disk for this, right? There was an 8 GB disk. Where do I see that 8 GB disk? On the left hand side, if you go, volumes, 8 GB. And if there are multiple machines, multiple disks are there, how do I know which disk is attached to which machines? So if you come towards right side, the attachment information, this is the instance ID. I0111, which is Linux instance. It is attached to Linux instance. Right now, it is in use. You can attach this disk, one disk per server. It's 1-to-1, right? Disk to server. You can attach multiple disks to same server, but one disk to one server only. One disk to one server only. So what I've shown you, it is a, see when you launch instances, right? This is pay as you go. There are other pricings also available. Reserved instances. Click on reserved instance. You can purchase reserved instance. If you are looking for at least 1 year or 3 years, 1 year or 3 years, go for reserved instance. Go for reserved instance. With the reserved instance, you are going to save a lot of money, up to 50-60% of money that you can save. So let me show you an example. AWS on-demand pricing. I am in Virginia. Okay, let's pick up a server M4 16x large. How much is costing me? I'll put it in a notepad. M4 16x large. This is Linux machine. Okay, and let's look at Windows machine. Windows M4 16x large, almost double because the Linux, there is no licensing cost. Windows, you have to pay almost 40% to 50%. You pay for the license only. Okay, this is on-demand pricing. This is on-demand. The same thing if I look at reserved pricing, right? I want to reserve it for, see, on-demand pricing, you can stop it, terminate it anytime that you want. Okay, you don't, if you're not using it, you will not be charged. But here reserved pricing, so if you are committing for 1 year, whether you use it or not, you will be charged for that entire year. Linux or Windows, I'm selecting Linux. Term 1 year. Payment option all upfront. Search. You see, this is the cost. 12 months. Okay. So standard, it is going to cost you $59 upfront. I'll look at 12 months upfront fees, so this much, and the total it's going to cost you, which one I've selected, T2.micro, right? Yeah, so let me select M4 16x. This is costing me either 18,000 or 16,000. Okay, so let's take it as 18,000. So how much is it coming to? M4 16x large, 64, 188, 256. It's costing you $6. Sorry, it's did not copy. It's costing you $2.2. It's $2.2. It's a Linux machine. If it is Windows, change it to Windows. It's costing you around 44. It is costing you 5 rupees or $5 per hour, and whereas it is costing you $6. Okay, so there is some variation. Some instances there will be huge variation, for some instances very less variation, depending on the model that you select. Okay, so this is one of the pricing model where if you go for commit for 1 year pricing or 3 years, if you go with 3 years, you will save even better, even more. So 3 years is costing you $4. It was $5. It is costing you $4. If you look at Linux, it's costing you $1. Here it is $3. If you go for 3 years, it is $1. Almost $1 is reduced. Now same thing if I go for spot pricing. I told spot, right? Spot is nothing but auctioning. So if Amazon has extra capacity, they will put it for auctioning. Okay, so click on spot request. Request spot instances. Yes, more years, less dollars. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So if you, for example, if you're leasing an apartment, right? So if you commit them for 5 years, right? Obviously they will give you some discount, better discount. Or if you're going to say only one month, I'm going to say, they will charge you more. Okay. So the longer duration that you commit, the better discount that you get. So if you want to request for spot instances, okay, so click on select here, all instance types. Let me see, M4 16x large. How much is it? 0.97. That is less than dollar. On demand is how much? 3.2. Almost 75% savings that you are making. So if you click on sort by spot pricing, there are some instances that you will save 90%, some instances 78%. Okay, you just have to select and request it. Okay, just put a request here. All the information that you have to put and click on launch. So automatically the new instance will be launched. Just in case the current price of that machine is 0.95, right? In case in the future, if it changes, okay, right now it is 0.0067. In case it changes to maybe 0.80 or 0.080 or 0.010, something like that, the price increases, your instance will get terminated. So be careful. So that is why always look at the pricing history. Last 3 hours, what is the change? On demand is this, and for example, I go with this M4 16x large. In the last 3 months in this region, you see the graph, it went to 1.0046005. It never touched 1.06 as per this graph. So safely you can put 1.1. If you put 1.1, right, the instance will stay for a longer duration. Last 3 months, looking at the price history, it never touched 1.1. So just put 1.1, $1.10, you will be safe. Questions? So let's terminate. Price also very different based on the not availability zone from region to region. That I will show it to you tomorrow. Okay. So from one region to another region, the price will vary. Okay, we'll see it right away. Why tomorrow? Yeah. So I'm done with this thing and I'm going to terminate it. You see the price for this M4 16x large on demand East US. How much? $3.2. Let's look at the same thing in India. Asia Pacific, Mumbai. M4 16x large. How much is it? 3.36. What do we have for 3.20? So there will be a variation from one region to another region. There will be a little bit of variation. Windows, it's 6.304. We have 6.114. 6.144. So there will be little slight changes will be there. Any questions? Okay. All right. So see you tomorrow. Can we, one more thing I wanted to ask you. Can we start a little bit early? Can we start at 8:30 the class from tomorrow onwards? Okay, fine.
We'll discuss and let you know through
Yeah, sure,
WhatsApp.
sure, sure. Yeah, sure.